Welcome to this Champion Spotlight. Introducing Shard, the Arctic Reaper. Shard is a murderous assassin from the Ice Realm with a deadly capacity for hard engage. Using dashes, freezes, and teleportation, Shard leaves enemies scrambling to protect themselves from his icy sword. Shard's first ability is Ice Pick. Shard stabs an enemy, damaging them on impact. Frozen targets take extra damage. Ice Pick has the highest potential damage out of all of Shard's abilities, but it requires the target to be frozen in order to realize this damage. While using the ability on an unfrozen target will still deplete their health, the ability requires Shard to be within melee range, and therefore increases the potential for enemy reciprocation. Shard's second ability is Blitz. Shard charges at an enemy and delivers a devastating two-handed stab, damaging enemies on impact. Frozen targets take extra damage. The bonus damage Blitz receives from frozen targets is not nearly as much as that of Ice Pick, making Blitz most useful as a gap closer. Blitz can target both enemies and structures, allowing Shard to stay out of danger until the right opportunity presents itself. Shard's next ability is Spike. Shard lobs his sword in a line, damaging and freezing the first enemy it collides with. Spike is Shard's only ability that freezes enemies, meaning that in order to maximize Shard's damage, players must land the skill shot. To make this easier, players can use Blitz to get within close range of an enemy before attempting to hit them with Spike. However, Spike can also be a useful tool for protecting Shard as well as his allies. Next up is Splinter. Shard detonates a cascade of razor-sharp slices of ice, damaging nearby enemies and reducing their damage. The damage debuff from Splinter can be an excellent tool for protecting Shard once he's committed to an engage. Splinter also does a fair amount of damage and is one of only 2 of Shard's abilities which can affect multiple targets. Shard's final ability is Mirage. Shard conjures a reflection at his location. If Shard or the reflection dies, the reflection detonates, damaging nearby enemies. If Shard uses Mirage while his reflection is still on the battlefield, he teleports to the reflection's location, exploding and damaging nearby enemies. Mirage is an incredibly diverse ability which can be used both offensively and defensively. Leaving Mirage reflection in a safe allied location can allow Shard to escape when things get hairy and shorten the amount of time it takes him to return to lane after taking too much damage. Leaving Shard's clone in another lane can allow Shard to jump in on team fights while still putting pressure in other lanes. Leaving Shard's clone in contested territory allows enemies the opportunity to destroy it, but the damage dealt to enemies from the reflection's destruction or from Shard teleporting to the reflection while an enemy is in range is fairly high and can also affect multiple enemies, making it a great engagement tool for fights involving multiple members of the enemy team. However, any previous reflections must be destroyed or detonated before Shard can drop another, meaning that players should carefully consider where they initiate the ability. Like most assassins, Shard is best at single-target damage, but his map-wide maneuverability makes him uniquely capable of sustaining in lane as well as assisting his teammates. Shard players should attempt to apply constant pressure to enemies and force them out of lane, allowing Shard the opportunity to roam the map, sharing power-ups and making enemies in both lanes second-guess aggressive pushes. However, Shard players should be wary of facing tanks or fighters in lane. Their high health makes it difficult for Shard to apply enough damage to force them out of lane, and getting within melee range to land his combo exposes him to crowd control and potential death. In these situations, Shard's reflection is best used defensively. If Shard is able to bait out an enemy combo before teleporting to safety, it can allow him to consistently apply damage to his high health opponents and slowly wither away their towers. The 2 key components of Shard's kit are damage and maneuverability, and adjusting talents can help accentuate either of these qualities. For extra damage, try adding an armor debuff to Ice Pick at Tier 4. Give Shard damage reflection with Blitz at Tier 7, and gain bonus damage on kill at Tier 8. To take full advantage of Shard's engage, give Ice Pick a snare at Tier 4. Reduce nearby enemies' movement speed at Tier 5, and gain extra time on Spike's freeze at Tier 10. Thanks for watching this Champion Spotlight. Visit callofchampions.com for the latest news and information.